Hello everyone, welcome to the class of Introduction of Public Administrations of Marine Affairs in my country, Republic of Korea. My name is I.M.O.K. Last name is Mok. Yes, this is real my name given by my father. On top of my name itself, I'm fairly okay. These days even COVID-19 pandemic continued. I hope you all okay too every day and this online lecture helpful. Actually in Korea, the COVID-19 is very strictly controlled. When I came in this studio, I got this secret sign after checking my body temperatures. So it's relatively very safe in this country. Nonetheless, I have missed all of you person to person. So in future, I wish all of you a day of visit in Korea. Before starting my lecture, let me introduce myself a little more. I have graduated Korea Maritime Academy, which is the previous name of the Korea Maritime and Ocean University. Right after the graduation, I have sailed onboard merchant ship for about 4 years as a deck officer, which is a very rigorous time for me, but very valuable experience. Thereafter, I have always worked around the world of sea. Recently, I have finished my term of service at the public entity Korea Ship Safety and Technology Authority 3 years ago. And now I am teaching students Maritime Business Division of KMOU. This class will contain 5 chapters. The first one, we will see overall understanding about the terminology and also the general the definition of the related terms of the marine and the maritime sectors. Chapter 2, we will further make the understanding about the Korea's marine environment. What like of the Korea in terms of the marine situations, and how the Korea deal about those environment of the surrounding the countries. And the chapter 3, I like to introduce Korean history and the footprint of the marine administrations. Actually, our history of the marine administrations is very shallow, but we have made very rapid growth last 75 years. You may see how we make it. Chapter 4 and 5, we will see 3 major concerns of the marine sectors. The first one is conservation. Second one is development at the same time. And last but least, safety. Before we get into the main contents, we need to understand the terminology and the scope of this lecture that included this chapter 1. And also, I like to touch how important the sea for the mankind and even every countries. And thirdly, we need to understand what kind of governing bodies we all share internationally. That is UNCLOS, UN Convention on the Law of the Sea. We often confused or misused of the terms of the marine and maritime related terms, words. When we think about marine, that is directly related to the sea, while the maritime relates to things associated with the sea. When we make the example, like marine engineering, marine species, marine exploration, marine life, merchant marine ship, something like that. We use the marine. When it goes to maritime, we can see maritime museum, maritime transport, maritime zone, something like that. And we compare maritime versus ocean or oceanic. Maritime usually refers to commercial transportation or naval activity. Instead, ocean usually means environmental, fisheries, undersea mining, etc. Today, the lecture we include certain scope, that is Korea's marine administrations, and this may cover marine and ocean affairs, including ship and maritime safety, except fisheries unless otherwise related with safety. Another class will take a deal with fisheries issues, not this classroom. It also excludes shipbuilding according to governing regime of Korea that is separately taken care of by Ministry of the Trade, Industry and Energy. We are separated for those shipbuilding. So you see this diagram. Ocean may overlap maritime, such as shipping, logistics, and port harbor. And also, this maritime will overlap oceans and marine. So, in this scope, we will explore today. Next, we think, what is the sea and how important the sea is? Why we talk about the sea? There's many reasons. First of all, sea is the origination of all the creatures in us, and also the sea contains 75% oxygen. That is the supply of the life. This sea water covered 71% of the globe surface. That's a huge amount. Secondly, sea is facilitate environmental management and environmental maintenance. The sea absorbs of solar energy by 80%. Otherwise, the more than green gas effect, the heat from the sun may melt everything in the earth. It's that point of view, the sea is critically important for the maintaining the creature's life. And also the sea has a self-purification and renewal functions. That's great. And thirdly, sea is the mainstream of global trade that contributes about 78% of the global trade. And the sea transportation, water transportation is most economical and eco-friendly transportation method. Nothing else then. And then lastly, sea is the storage of the natural resources. Yet, 96% is unexplored. Even our technology, engineering is developed compared to last decade. But still, 4% is only uncovered. And The sea contains oil, gas, deep sea minerals, and also it produces tidal power by the gap of the tide differences. We can produce the energy. This is a great function of the sea. Let's see how this economic value of the ocean industry. This all the statistics is come from Worldwide Fund for Nature 2015. The ocean or sea create value of the 24 billion US dollars per annum through the ocean, and also the gross marine product as big as world top 7 country. You see the right side, the world rankings. No doubt there's a number, biggest is United States, but number 7, the biggest in terms of gross marine product, about 7 is above Korea, far above. And when it comes to the asset value, the left the tables, direct output of the ocean is the 6.9 trillion US dollars, and trade and transport function, all related asset, that would be US 5.2 trillion, and other adjacent assets is 12 trillion US dollars. It's still a huge possibility give to us, huge potential from the sea. We think that is why the sea is so important for us. Another reason why we talk about sea is global challenges and solutions we can get from the sea. As I said before, unexplored 96%. The unexplored area for the future of the humankind. In that sense, the sea can respond to climate change, food, energy, resource depletion, and also the sea make creation of the new growth engines. Yes, again, 4%, 5% of the total ocean unexplored, the huge possibility and opportunities. Because of this importance of the sea and ocean, many countries, especially big power countries such as United States, China, Japan, after the UNCLOS effective in 94, they established new plans to develop and predominant of this sea potential benefits. Especially China has a plan to increase of the ocean production by 14% of GDP by next another 10 years. It's very aggressive. As I told you, there are many international conventions, but in terms of the sea, there's one very powerful and the very effective convention at the UN level. That is the UNCLOS. I'd like you all to understand UNCLOS more in details. But in this lecture, because of time limitation, I will introduce briefly. UNCLOS is the law of the sea. It's a body of the public international law governing the geographic jurisdiction of coastal states and the rights and duties among states in the use and the conservation of the ocean environment and its natural resources. Actually, this UNCLOS 1 and 2, 1958 and 1960 each has initiated but failed to get the ratification because of the low interest internationally. But finally, UNCLOS 3 has signed 1982 and ratified 1994. All 168 countries has participated and ratified this UNCLOS. This UNCLOS is composed of the preamble and 9 parts with 320 articles and 9 annexes. According to UNCLOS 3, there are some newborn organizations under the UN organization. Those are International Seabed Authority, called ISA, and International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea, called ITLOS, and the Commission on the Limit of the Continental Shelf, called CLCS. Those are newly organized. I understand the East Timor, your country, you have already have the accession, but according to the information from the website, I understand ratification by your country is not made yet, but it's very important. And also your country located the middle of the ocean, and you have neighbor countries. Probably you have some conflict or need some agreement or negotiations with neighbor countries. So I like to encourage all of you look into this UNCLOS, all the clauses in line, and study and prepare for future of your ocean strategy. Let's look into more about the maritime zones. As we see this picture, TSB means Territorial Sea Baseline. I understand your country is Timor yet ratified of this UNCLOS, the convention, but you have only accession to this convention according to the information I got from the internet. I think this UNCLOS, the convention, law of the sea, is critical important for your countries, which is surrounded by the Indonesia, Australia, and other Papua New Guinea. So you have to visit this UNCLOS information and understand all of the definitions and other terms and conditions, and then you prepare your country's strategy of the oceans. Your country, same as ours, surrounded by the ocean, and you have expand your territories to the sea. But unless this clear understanding and make the strategy, you may encounter some difficulties. Let's look into the maritime zones. All the definitions starting from the TSB, that is a Territorial Sea Baseline. This baseline is the level of the mean low tide water level, and then up to 3 miles we call coastal waters. This is definitely the territorial area, but according to UNCLOS, it is expanded up to 12 miles as a territorial sea. Within these 12 miles, all the sovereignty and the jurisdiction, all the control of this as same as what we are doing in the land. So up to 12 miles, you have 100% your control in these sea areas. From the 12 miles, UNCLOS designated contiguous zone, CZ. This is in between exclusive economic zone and the territorial sea. These intermediate areas will have the function when the coastal states need to control any infringement of the fiscal, immigration, and sanitary, and the customs laws. They can control all the ships or activities. And the next up to 200 miles, UNCLOS defined as EEZ, exclusive economic zone. In that area, the coastal states can have exclusive rights to make the fisheries or the developing, the undermining, or other economic activities. And the next one, continental shelf, that may extend 350 nautical miles from the land. This is a very ambiguous area, how we make the range. But it depends on the seabed shape or the relationship between the neighborhood countries. It may decide it. Let's see, when we using the miles, this means nautical miles. You know how we make the nautical miles? The circumference of our Earth, the length of circumference divided 360, because the Earth is globe. Then 1 minute, length of 1 minute is the length of the 1 nautical miles. That's 1.852 kilometers. So the UNCLOS define each terms, TSB, CW, TS, CZ, EEZ, CS. From the clear understanding of these terms, you may understand further next rules and regulations and terms and conditions of the UNCLOS. And then you may have very clear policy, strategy in your own countries, the marine the areas. Thank you for your attention. I will take a break before we start the next chapter. Thank you. See you again. Bye.